Hey guys, 7th grade review of inequalities. So we're going to do one-step inequalities first. We're going to do a few of those, and then we're going to do two-step inequalities, and then we're going to graph these. Okay? I'm going to go kind of fast. So if I go too fast for you, feel free to slow it down. Watch the video again. If something, if things look easy, skip the video. Get to a point where you're like, hey, how do you do this one? Feel free. Okay? This is for you guys. All right, so we got 3x is less than 18, so 3x means 3 times x. So the goal here is you want x to be by itself, right? You want to isolate the variable. You want x to be right here. So in order to go from here to here, we got to get rid of that 3, that coefficient. Now 3x means 3 times x, so you want to do the opposite of multiplying by 3. So the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. The reason being is, well, we divide by 3 because we can get rid of it, right? But you want to do the same thing on the opposite side, because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. It's only fair. So we divide that side by 3. We end up with x is less than 6. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to graph it. So let's say I've got 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put a circle on the 6, an open circle, and we're going to go to the left. And I'm going to do that in red here. Let me see. Here we go. And a lot of times they'll do like a solid, sometimes they'll do like a solid line, kind of like this, and then make a really big arrow. You can do it like that. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I'll do like a squiggly line. I'll do it that way. But it's open. The reason why it's open because you do not want to include 6 as part of your solution. 6 cannot be less than 6. So 6 can't be part of your solution. Now 5.9 can be, 5 can be, 4 can be, 0 can be part of your solution, right? But the 6 cannot. So that's why it's an open circle, because that's not part of your answer. It's not part of your solution. Now the way to check that real quick, and I'm not going to check all of these, but one of my favorite numbers to use to check is 0. 0 is shaded. Okay, so this is a good solution. 0 can be a solution for x. So what I do is I typically take 0 and I plug it into the original problem. I never plug it in here because if I do that, it's generally speaking, it's going to work here almost every single time. But it may not always work up here. This, if you just follow the arrow, yeah, it's going to work here because you're following the arrow. But sometimes, if you're not following certain rules, you may end up getting it wrong on accident. So what you want to do is you want to go back to the original inequality, plug it in here. So 3 times 0 is 0. And is 0 less than 18? Why, yes, it is. So that means this is a good solution set. And you got it right. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2. 4 times x means 4 times x. The opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. That's the inverse operation. Okay, that's the fancy word for doing the opposite. So we divide both sides by 4, and then we're going to get x is greater than 6. So 6 would be here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That sounds good. If you want to put a 5 here and a 4 here, that's fine. Again, this is your graph. You can graph it any way you'd like. It's always good to have a couple numbers there, just so it gives you a little bit of bearing to know what's around it. So this is a greater than symbol. So this is going to be an open circle again, and we're going to follow the arrow to the right. So I'm going to use my blue pen here. So I'm going to go to the right, make my little arrow here, and we are done. Number 3. Inverse operation of subtracting 7 is adding 7. So we're going to add 7 to both sides, because whatever to do to this side, I must do to the other side. We've got x is less than equal to 20. Okay, so we're going to put 20. You can put 20 in the middle if you'd like. 21, 22, 23, 24. That's good. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. That's good. Right? So we're not going to do an open circle. The reason why is 20 can be part of the solution because 20 can be less than not less than, but it can be less than or equal to 20. So since 20 can be part of that solution, we're going to fill it in completely. Okay? And then we're going to follow the arrow to the left. And it's going to go like that. Not a perfect squiggly there, but yeah, you get my point, hopefully. Number 4, okay, hopefully you notice something's gone awry here, okay? You got x plus 4 on the right-hand side and 13 on the left-hand side. Normally, you're going to see your variable on the left-hand side of the inequality. Here it's on the right-hand side. So if you don't like that, feel free to make that switch now. You can absolutely do that. But when you do that, though, if you switch sides, the arrow's also got to switch, okay? It's much like saying, for example, it's much like saying, 1 is less than 4, right? So if I switch sides, I'm going to have to flip that sign in order to maintain that true statement here. If 1 is less than 4, then that means 4 is greater than 1. Okay, so you're doing basically the same thing here. You're flipping it. You have to flip it. It's going to make sense. Now, you can flip it later, but a lot of people will forget, and they'll follow the arrow and they'll go in the wrong direction. All right, so the opposite of adding 4 is subtracting 4. That's the inverse operation. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. X is greater than 9. So when we graph it, we can put 9 in the middle. I'm putting 9 here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8, 7, 6. Nah, that's good. We're going to do an open circle on 9, and then we're going to go to the right. All right, number 5. Same thing here. I would switch them around so you don't get confused later. So I would put t divided by 7, 49 over here. Then I'd flip it over. Now, what's the inverse operation? Dividing by 7, we're multiplying by 7, right? So we're going to multiply both sides by 7. So this times side by 7, this times 7. This is going to cancel out. I've got t left over. T is less than equal to, and then whatever 49 times t is, which is going to be, see, 63, carry the 6. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 6 is 34. So 343. That's a big one. All right, so 343, you see we're going in this direction. So I'm probably going to put 343 right here. 342, 41, 40, 339, 338, 337, 336, 335. All right, I think that's good. And then you're going to do a filled-in circle because 343 can be less than or equal to, so it can be equal to. So this is going to be a filled-in circle, and it's going to go to the left. I'm not very good at going to the left, as you can tell. I kind of go off the line. Sorry about that. I'm much better going to the right, as you can tell. All right, number 6. Last of the one-step inequalities. We're looking at the inverse operation, dividing by -8. The inverse operation would be to multiply by -8. So we're going to multiply both sides by -8. We're going to multiply this times by -8 as well. We're going to get this canceled out. All we have left over is x, and then we got -88 on this side. Now, the caveat to this one is if you multiply or divide by a negative number, now we haven't done that so far, so this is the first time we've multiplied or divided by a negative number, we have to flip the sign. Okay, that's a rule. Okay, and there's a reason why, but I can't get into it right now. So x is greater than 88, -88, so let's say -88 is here. 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80. So -80 is going to be here. It's going to be an open circle, and it's going to go to the right. Okay. Now, let's talk about two-step inequalities. Now, two-step inequalities, I don't have as many as I did here. I had 6 one-step. I only got 5 two-steps. And the video right now is about 9 minutes, 43 seconds. So I've got to hurry it up just a tad bit more, and I apologize. Hopefully this helps. But I do need to go a little fast because I don't want my videos to be too long. But I do like a lot of examples. All right, so here, let me go in a little bit further detail with number 7, and then we'll kind of go fast on the other ones. All right, so you've got two operations going on. 2x means 2 times x and plus 3. So you got a multiplication problem here, and you get an addition problem here. Again, we have to do everything backwards, kind of not following the order of operations. Normally you would multiply before you add and subtract, right? Following the order of operations. However, we're not looking necessarily for the answer. We're looking for part of the solution, part of the problem, which is what is x. X is part of the problem. So you go backwards in the order of operations. That's why we get rid of the 3 first before we get rid of this coefficient, this 2, okay? So we're going to do the opposite of adding 3. So what is the opposite of adding 3? What's the inverse operation? Subtracting 3. Whatever to do to one side, I got to do to the other side. So this is going to end up being 10. 10 is less than 2x. That's it, right? Now, of course, you see I left the variable on the right-hand side. I'll flip it over at the end. Okay. Now, the opposite of multiply by 2 is divide by 2. So I'm going to divide this side by 2, divide this side by 2. And then we're going to end up with 5 is less than x. Now, just like I said earlier, if 1 is less than 4, that means 4 is greater than 1. So we can flip it around. So if I flip this around, it'll be x is over here, 5 is over here. I flip the sign, x is greater than 5. So we're going to graph that. So 5 is here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, open circle, because 5 cannot be greater than 5, so it's not part of the solution, but everything to the right can be part of the solution. And again, you can check this if you wanted to take a number from that solution set, like 10, plug it back into the original inequality. 2 times 10 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. The question here is 13 less than 23? And the answer is yes. So you've got the right side shaded in. Number 8. All right, here we go. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. We're going to get 56 greater than equal to 2t. Then you can divide both sides by 2. We get 28 greater than equal to t. Now if we set this up correctly, we put the variable on the left-hand side and that on the right-hand side, we can do that. But we have to flip the sign if we do that. So t is less than equal to 28. Let's say this is 28. So 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. All right, that's good. 28 can be less than or equal to 28. So 28 can be part of the solution. So that's going to be filled in, and then we're going to go to the left. Let me see if I can do it this way, backwards, just because I can't seem to go left correctly on the, I don't know, from where I'm sitting. I don't know why I can't go left on that number line. Okay, number 9. What's the opposite of adding 4? Subtracting 4. So we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. We get x divided by -6 less than 7. What's the opposite of dividing by -6? By multiplying by -6. So if we multiply both sides by -6, we get rid of this. What we have left over is x. What we have left over on the other side, this becomes a -42. And the caveat with this one is, yeah, the variable is on the correct side, but we multiplied and divided by a negative number, so that means we have to flip the sign. So this is the rarest exception that we have to do that. So 42 is here. I'm sorry, -42 is here. So -41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33. Let's say -33 is there. As you go further to right, the negative numbers seemingly get smaller, but technically they get bigger, right? Because they're further to the right. So you're going to go to the right here. This is open circle because -42 cannot be greater than -42. So this is going to go to the right all the way down. Now, you know, eventually you're going to hit 0 way down here somewhere, right? So 0 could be part of your solution set. And if you want to plug that in, that works. 0 divided by -6 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Is 4 less than 11? Yes, it is. We've got the right side shaded in. I love 0. I use 0 all the time. Every time it's shaded in, I will use it, plug it back in, see if it works. If it works, I feel great. I feel like I can move on, and I don't have to worry about anything here. All right, 10, we're getting close to being done here. We're going to add 5 to both sides. We're going to get 16 on this side here. And 2/5 x is greater than 16. Now, what's the opposite of multiplying by 2/5? Dividing by 2/5, right? So if we divide this by 2/5, we'll cancel it out. If we divide this by 2/5, we get our answer for what x is greater than, right? So x is greater than whatever 16 divided by 2/5 is. Now this one, so now here we just said a number divided by itself is going to be canceled out. It's going to be 1, right? 1 times x is just x. Now we can't say that with this because you just can't do 16 divided by 2/5. It's not as easy as it seems. One way you can do this work is you could take 2/5, convert it to a decimal. So you could do 2/5 as a decimal is 0.4. So 16 divided by 0.4 will give you what x is greater than, right? It will give you this number that you need. I'm just going to do it as a fraction. So 16 is just 16 over 1, divide by 2/5. Now we can't divide fractions, but what we're going to do is we're going to keep change flips. We're going to keep the 16 over 1, change that to multiplication, and flip the 5 over 2. So this is going to end up being 90, I believe. Just trying to do the math here real quick on that. Oh, no, 80. I think it's 80. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. Yeah, 80, sorry. So 80 over 2, which is going to end up being 40. So x is greater than 40. So let's say 40 is right here. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Do an open circle because 40 cannot be greater than 40. Go to the right, and we're good. And you can pick any number to plug in for x. But this one's a little bit harder to do because this is a fraction. All right, last but not least, number 11. On this one, what I would probably do is I would probably convert this over to a decimal just to make life just a little bit easier. So negative 4.5x minus 4 is less than equal to 14. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 to both sides because we're going to get rid of that minus 4. We get negative 4.5x is less than equal to 18. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to divide both sides by negative 4.5. Divide by negative 4.5. You're going to get 4, negative 4, I believe. Yeah, negative 4. We get x, because this cancels out, right? Oh, sorry, can't see that. So, yeah, negative 4.5 divided by negative 4.5 is going to be x. That's going to cancel out. This is going to become negative 4. Now, because we divided by a negative number, that means we have to flip that inequality over. So, again, we get negative 4 here. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to be a closed circle because negative 4 can be greater than or equal to. So it can be equal to. So that's going to be closed. And we're going to go to the right. And, of course, as you know, my favorite number to substitute back in, if it's shaded, is 0. 0 is shaded. It's in that shaded region. It's part of the solution set. I'm going to plug this back into here because that's easy to do. Negative 4.5 times 0, 0. Right? That's it. So 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Is negative 4 less than 14? Yes, it is. So we've got the right side shaded, and we are done. All right, guys, have a great, wonderful time. Hopefully this helps. Sorry for going fast, but I really didn't want this video to be too long. Have a great, wonderful day, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.